This was Myers, and this was, oh, good grief. I think it was 42. The steaks actually are expensive, but they were on sale for $9.99. Even when I get them clearanced off, I'm still not even getting them as cheap as $9.99. So this actually might be the week that I stop at Kroger almost every day and try to get them marked off and see how many I can stack in the freezer. But I'll put these in the freezer for my husband. I picked up his burritos, his pizza. He said that we were out of American cheese, and the Sargento Natural American Cheese Slices were on sale for $2. So I just went ahead and picked those up to try. I'd never seen them before. It does say they're new. His juice and Diet Coke, and the Diet Coke was on sale this week for $8.99. This was Aldi, and this was $23. I am missing another almond milk and a coffee. I left those at Mom's for next week. I picked up some of the Cara oranges. I really enjoy having those at night. The blueberries were a good price. I got those for the dog, the dragon, and I may do something with a few. I got my favorite bread, my husband's chips, some water, another thing of almond milk, and chicken stock. Well, I've been promising, and I finally did clean out my deep freezer, and I have been taking stuff out. As you can see, I have taken stuff out. I always have a bag of ice. We just like that. Rhodes rolls. There's some steaks there. And if you go down a few more layers, I have sectioned off in here bags, and they're Aldi bags, but I've got a pork bag, a chicken bag, and a beef bag. So I finally figured out how to get some stuff out. I only had to throw out a few things, and as you see, I have restocked. My husband always has a frozen pizza. I always buy either the Kirkland or, now I just thought, the Barely. Ooh, I just went blank on it. But that chicken. There's the dog's green beans. There's also the Aldi's chicken down here. But those are things I just always keep in the freezer for quick dinners. So here's the pantry, and I cleaned it out, and of course it's gotten a little bit messy. But on top, this is not that big of a pantry. It's just 3 shelves. I usually keep cornbread, pastas, rice. Yeah, lots of rice. And I've got dry beans back there. Things I keep always restocked. And I always talk about a well-stocked pantry, because when you have one of those weeks that the paycheck just doesn't stretch, I'm going to still be able to cook. And that's why I am as crazy as I am and always make sure I have food on hand. Each of those bags have potatoes or onions in them. Actually, none of them have potatoes. I've had an awful time keeping potatoes. So I've been just buying little bags. Now that it's just my husband and I, we don't go through it like we used to. On the second shelf, I have canned hominy, green beans, our favorite green beans, a big amount of tuna, diced tomatoes, sauce, tons of pumpkin because I have a dog with a sick tummy, beans, canned beans, and then in the corner I have a variety of Campbell's soups. Quite a few of them are either golden mushroom, cream of chicken, beef bouillon, French onion, things I can make something with if I need to. I only pick those up when I can get them for under around $1 to $1.10, 15 a can. Otherwise, I'll buy Aldi. Because they're reasonable in price. And then the bottom is like a hodgepodge. It's all the sauces and coffee and tons of hot sauces and bottles and mayonnaise and chicken broth and oil. And I've got some box mixes there just in case you want something. But this is something I can always rely on. And I swear, and my mom will tell you, I'm always telling her I'm cleaning it back up. So this is halfway organized. And this is my side-by-side refrigerator that I absolutely hate. But I did just clean this out. But we have been working really hard on getting this all cleaned out and organized. In here, there is, in the very bottom, there's a basket that I usually have frozen vegetables. But the top, middle, and bottom shelves are all my husband's junk food. So burritos, Uncrustables, pizza rolls, Klondike bars, ice cream. This way he gets into this and he doesn't get into my big deep freezer. Hence, my big deep freezer has not turned into the biggest disaster on the face of the earth anymore. But the condiments, which are the condiment of shame. My husband loves condiments. In fact, I hate it for him to go to the grocery store with me because he buys condiments. Anybody else's husband do this? But this is just kind of what we've got right now in here. Just our normal. And then, of course, on the bottom, I've got produce and meat and cheese. Actually, that first top drawer is mainly cheese products. And I like to always keep, as you hear me say, several pounds of butter. But there you go. This was Myers, and this was 26. You're going to see last week and this week, my grocery hauls were very, very small. But I'm going to give you a idea of what I'm sitting on pantry-wise and freezer-wise, because I'm going to do, I'm going to insert them in here of how much stuff I have. And that's why I'm trying to cut back right now. Just to deplete our stash. But at the same time, I will still pick stuff up. I picked up some Pam baking spray, some mustard potato salad. I was out of my eyeliner. It's the Maybelline Unstoppable in Espresso. I picked up some chicken patties for my husband, his French onion dip, juice, and 2 containers of cat food for the outdoor cat. This was Aldi, and this was $41. I picked up some mushrooms and zucchinis, onions, my favorite bread that I absolutely love. I picked up some pickles. These were $3.49. I went to Myers the other day for Mom and picked up Clausen sandwich slices. They were $5.99 a jar. Never buying them again. My dad was the one who claimed he couldn't eat any of these type because they weren't as good. Well, I'm not that picky. I like these. So we'll be switching after we go through that jar. We only eat them on hamburgers, so it's not like we go through them that fast. I picked up some chicken stock. I picked up some of their, not sugar-free, but 2 grams of sugar Greek low-fat yogurt. I want to make a tiramisu, what are they? Oh, the puddings, the chia seed puddings. I saw one that I really liked, and it had Greek yogurt in it. Well, I figured I might as well go ahead and get the lower sugar, so that's what I did. I picked up my favorite, the spinach feta chicken sausage, 2 pounds of ground beef, a thing of Parmesan because we were out. I picked up some orange juice, some water, and some makeup removing towelettes. And that was Aldi. This was Meijer, and this was $70. So this is what we picked up this week. It wasn't very much. Like I said, I'm still trying to work on my pantry and my freezer. I picked up my husband's chips. These carnivore pizzas, he likes a thin crust. So these are a thin crust, and they've got all meat toppings, hence carnivore. They were 2 for $11, so I picked up 2. I picked up the green beans for the dog. I picked up a bag of his chimichangas. He wanted some more potato salad, sour cream. I picked up, this is one of my favorites, is the Maria's coleslaw dressing, and then coleslaw mix. 2 things of juice. This is the hickory barbecue pork loin. I saw something interesting, and instead of cooking this whole, we're going to slice it, and we're going to put it on sliders this week with coleslaw. So something just a little different, especially with it getting so hot out. 2 things of juice. I got the cat's treats, my hair gel, and I picked up the smaller size of the Gain only because it had a $2 coupon. And if I went any bigger, I didn't get the $2 off. So I'll be picking up more. But that was Meijer's this week. This was Aldi, and this was $58. They had this on their extra things. I don't know if it's always there. It was one of the times I actually paid attention. But it's the Boursin garlic and fine herb. It was a little bit cheaper than what I can get it at Kroger, but not any, or Meijer's, but not any cheaper than if you buy the 3-pack at Costco. A thing of cherry tomatoes. I got the sweet butter lettuce for a side salad this week. I picked up mushrooms. I may throw them in the loaded green beans. I picked up 2 tomatoes for a recipe. I picked up the carb counter flour tortillas. They are my favorite. They're just softer. The bread I always like every week for toast. I picked up sliders for a recipe. That's the regular mild salsa for a recipe. And then I've been getting my husband, this is one of their summer limited editions, salsa chimichurri, and he really kind of, he liked that one. I realized when I cleaned out my pantry, I don't have any mushrooms, so I picked up 3 cans, and when did those get to be $1.39 a can? Wow. I just like to have them in case I want to throw them in something or for pizza, so that's a stock up item in my pantry, and I know you're saying, because I'm going to show you the pantry today, you really don't need anything in there. But I like to have those on stock. So got some chips for my husband. I needed pinto beans for a recipe. They didn't have anything other than their organic ones, so I went ahead and picked them up. Still cheaper than the regular grocery store. Water, beef broth, almond milk. I picked up some shrimp, and then on the Isle of Shame, they had the Downy honeymoon in Hawaii. It smelled the best out of all of them, so I just went with that. But that was $58 at Aldi today.